Hello everyone, welcome in back to HOR here in Tier 2 in Round 7, where yet again, as you can see, more wet weather on the horizon throughout the weekend, not just here in quali but going into the main race as well. So some may love it, some may hate it, but the rain is here to stay. Already into quali as well. 19 drivers, could be 20 depending on if we can get one more driver in who's trying to get in. So good attendance as usual in Tier 2. A couple of reserves sniffing around. Not many, got a lot of the full drivers here today. In terms of reserves though, it's just Alabuck I think at the moment in P6.
And
and Aaron, yeah. Well. Yeah, two, both Alpines missing today, so Alpines reserving in both sides of the garage today. Aaron Panda, I think he was meant to race last week, was showing good times as well, but wasn't around in the end. So it'll be interesting to see where he slots on. I think he might be on that cusp between Tier 1 and 2, so if he shows good pace today, he may find himself bumped up into Tier 1. We'll have to wait and see. But in terms of what happened last week, obviously we had a sprint race in Silverstone, and MOZA won the sprint, and it was Aiden who had a good strat to come through and win the main race in the dying laps. So that moves him up to second place in the standings, actually. Still a fair distance away from Hugo. He's on 86 points. While Aiden's on 68, then it's Finn in third on 64, Slick in fourth place on 55, and then it's a bit of a mad scrap then for that fifth place position. There's John on 47, A Ruthless Guy 44, Jamaican Jam 43, MBOZA 42, and then a bit of a drop again down to the likes of VWR Awkward, who is not here today. So lots to keep an eye out on in terms of the constructors. Still Mercedes that seem to be having a relatively sizable lead, although their closest challenger did switch around last week as Aston have moved up to second place, but they're still a hefty chunk behind, around 30 points. But they overtook VCarb, who's still in third, and then nothing else really new below, and McLaren moved up a couple of positions, so they're in fourth place, but they've got a 40-point or so gap up to the top three, so our fights do look like they're starting to appear as we go into the final couple of races of the season. Obviously only 10 rounds this season and already at round 7 now.
I was interested to see then as well where Hugo's going to start him, but he's invalidated with that because in his first run he actually got stuck behind a teammate very early on. So I feel like he's certainly got more pace than the first one, but I mean with the drying conditions his laps will only get through.
Yeah, obviously
I think drying, but it's only going to light rain.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for those who are interested about the actual weather, I think in quali it's very wet to just wet, so there should be a bit more of a drop in the times as the session goes on when the session does dry up a little bit. Obviously, like you said, won't dry, but we'll get a lot of the dry lines, so times will heavily decrease. But then everyone will be glad to know the races, so it's full wet, so I guess I'm still dry. You will still see the switch to winters, but I guess it's just less dramatic in an actual race. Nice to see that we did get Phoenix in, so we have got a full 20 here for Tier 2, so Tier 2 showing up Tier 1. Even though it's treacherous conditions, people aren't shying away from it, so good to see.
Yeah, it's one of these weeks, I mean, especially I was having a look and looking at Canada, this is probably going to be the last wet race, well, wet session of the season, just based on where we are for the final three.
As Jatan just puts up the P8 as well, but yeah, I mean, Vegas has a chance. I mean, it's very weird. I mean, the next two realistically, no chance of rain. I guess there's always an outside chance of rain at Vegas. The next two for sure though will be almost guaranteed night dry races, so I think a lot of people will be happy to finally get this race out of the way. I mean, I'm surprised that Tier 1 even avoided the wet, because it looked for an awful long time that both races this weekend were going to be in some form of wet conditions, whether it's mixed or across the whole weekend, so Tier 1 have managed to escape.
I think just that, I was about to say I'm interested to see where John and Gordon's drivers both were on the inter tyres, and I mean, look at that difference. Huge gap where John pulled out top pin.
Yeah, first man in 29
tyres as well. Almost even skip the 29s as well.
Yeah. A couple of drivers down the bottom, obviously, without a time on the board just yet, but still plenty of time. Obviously, this session will be drying up more, so in a way, these first laps are slightly irrelevant. I mean, it's still good just to get a gist of where you might place in the running order, but obviously, in terms of the track evolution, it's no real point setting this. You won't expect this time to be your final time.
Yeah, I think typically you just want a lap on the board, because especially here, there's a few places you can invalidate, at least in the dry, and thankfully not have to do wet laps around here, but I imagine it's similar. I've seen a couple of invalidations, but again, it's just nice to have a bit of a bank on the board, but like you say, you do not want this time now to still be your last time.
Yeah, I guess the one benefit of it being wet is I think the game is somewhat more lenient to track limits. That if you do go off, I think if you're going over at speed, obviously it won't really be nice to, but I think in a lot of circumstances it is a bit more, maybe that's more race trim, that it kind of gives you that discrepancy. But there are plenty of people on track now as well. Obviously we go into the final 8 minutes, so track will be drying up past that 10-minute period and continuing to dry up, so we'll flick through and see who's
Nitro who's next up to the line, so I see where he slots in another run on the inters and jump up to third.
Obviously it's still away, so still not on his ideal setup, so to put a third, very solid lap from him. As Slick's actually showing, he's just done his time, so that's why he's showing us down in the first sector. And we got Jatin that's going to be next up, currently sat 6th, but finding time just about a bit,
Cruz only just started his lap, but I'm interested to see where he slots in from the end of this one, because I mean, he was someone obviously who spun very early on the spot, but race pace wise, he seemed to be showing some good pace.
Yeah. Here we got Alabut coming to the line next as well. Showed good pace in the last time he reserved, and he's had a very good effort there as well. Puts it up to P3, the 29.4, the third man to put it into the 29s.
I think he might have across to goes up to 9th as well his first time.
And then it goes to Hugo.
27th.
Into the 27s, yeah, massive gap. I think Kinstella earlier just asked for predictions. I mean, I think that man, yeah, in a way, you'd be stupid to argue against Hugo, really. I mean, in the chat, Aaron Panda, new reserve, has been saying that he's got a bit of pace around here in the wet as well, so maybe don't write him out. Obviously, we're yet to see him, but it seems like he might have a bit of pace about him. But, I mean, Hugo, based on his performance in Spa, you'd imagine he's going to be right up there, if not at the top, so bear that in mind. Massive pileup as we go into the stadium as well, so we'll flick through and see who's actually involved in that.
It's cruising to the next one up to the line, so we'll see where he slots in on what I believe is his first one in the inters. His old time on the wet, it's up to P5 for him as the inters coming around.
Got the other Ferrari coming to the line now with Palmer. Puts it just behind him, just over a 10th behind him, so solid effort from the Ferrari boys. Obviously they've had a bit of an interesting season, up and down, after their team was thrown out of the sport. So nice to have both their drivers back and firing on full cylinders at the moment, both performing well, so it'll be interesting to see where they line up in the next 5 minutes or so when we get the checkered flag waving on the qualifying session. Got Jono actually come around, no, it's Aiden actually, I beg your pardon, to finish his lap, currently sat in P2, and he actually beats Hugo's time by over a second gap down to Hugo, so constant track improvement here. So Aiden putting down a marker here for Hugo. Obviously Aiden had good pace last week and he's trying to carry on with that as well.
Jamaican Jam go flying up the order up to 9th, but it's only to the 30s for him. But still a solid chunk of improvement on what was his time.
Jatin as well in the chat saying he's got no pace, which is a shame, but currently sat P11. Bit of a gap though up to Finn though, so we'll see if Jatin can end in the top 10.
Phoenix is going to be next up to the line as well, so we'll see when it's only 11th for him.
Yeah, just slots into that gap between the two of them that we were just talking about, 4 tenths above Jatin, so there's a couple of gaps opening up across the grid, but I think everyone now for the most part sat in the garage just waiting for the bit more track improvement. But we have CT3 coming to the line to see what he can set. Currently sat down in P17. Can he find any improvement on his lap? He can, plenty of time, 3.5 seconds just behind the Ferrari, so I feel like that window, doesn't it? I think if you're setting times now, the minimum you want to be setting is a mid-30. I think anywhere below that, I mean based on the times that we just saw coming through from LTR Phoenix, anywhere up from there, really, considering the track improvement. I mean, ideally in the 29.
Even that, yeah, I was going to say, I think you almost want to be looking at 29 because, I mean, it's a huge field spread at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, massive.
26-7, huge drop throughout the game.
I know Emboza's time isn't realistic, but yeah, that's like 26 back to a 42, I mean, that's a bit mad. But still,
even then, when you consider, like, we've seen sort of a bulk of drivers at this point in the quality car and easily the biggest field spread of the season, man.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Jono is on the lap here, I think, as well, as he's 2 seconds up, so at the moment, I mean, he's not going to do enough currently to challenge his teammate. I think coming into the season, Jono was the top dog, and I think Aiden's somewhat disturbing the water within the team, and he's showing that, you know, is he the number one driver as they go into the closing stages of the season. But here comes Jono to the line, where can he put it? And then he makes me eat my words, and he puts 4/10 on Aiden, finds improvement in the final sector, just to cement himself currently still as the top dog at Aston Martin. But 2.5 minutes left, so still time to get one more run in if he's got enough fuel in the car. Not showing the flashing.
Guys about to fly up as well. He was showing, I think, 3 seconds improvement before he even entered the staging section. Imagine Finn
Beautiful, beautiful, yeah. Who's next on the lap? We've got MOZA, who's slowing down the main straight, so still a representative time to come from him. Surprising still to see him so far down. K1, last time I checked with him, he was invalidated on a lap, so still yet to see K1's full potential.
He's been in the pits for ages, so he's risking it not having a single time on the board until right at the end. He's still not coming out.
I wonder if he's got some technical issues. Oh, he's coming out. Yeah,
he's on the track.
No pressure, pal. 1 lap wonder needed from him, as I think Alabuk is the first man to start a lap. It might be him or Finn. Where is Finn on track? Finn is going to be the first one, I think. As he's flying up, we'll see how much improvement he has. Down in P13 currently. I imagine he's going to have a fair chunk of improvement there. Yeah, 6/10. So currently, I mean, that's already going to put him up into the top 10 just from his improvements in Sector 1 alone. So we'll watch him through the rest of the lap to see how much time he can find. A bit heavy on the curbs there, but still keeps it pointing in the right direction. So he comes into Sector 2, famous corner there where Verstappen and Norris had their little coming together. Plays with the boundaries there, and he's cut the corner there. I don't know if he got slightly put off there by his teammates. I don't know if he has enough time. I don't know how much time is left on the clock, unfortunately, but I don't know if he has enough time to recharge and go again. He might just about have enough, but I think he's trying. Yeah, he's trying to go again.
I think, even if you haven't got a full battery pack, you just have to go again, purely from the track involvement. Yeah, the track should still improve.
Yeah, I mean, he's 100% got more improvement, even with half battery. So it's just worth just seeing what you can do, really. But here comes
Phoenix invalidates his lap, and I don't know if he's going to get to the line again himself. He's got a bit of a chance to get there.
As Alaba goes up to P3, so good time from him. Yeah, we go down through the order to see who's next come up to the line. Obviously, Finn did get across the line to start a new one. Who else have we got coming down the order? Oh, and Boss has had a little snap, but he's just about to start a massive queue in Sector 3, so whether these cars are going to start tripping up over each other.
He's that fuel and into the box, so he's not going to improve his.
In P6 though, so he's got a decent time to hold on to. We'll just have to keep an eye on him and see how the session's playing out. As we've got Jono though coming through stadium section now. Currently sat P1. Can he find any more improvement on his time? Haven't been paying attention to his sector times, but he does find more time. Finds 8/10, puts it provisional pole then in the 25s. 25.4. We got a McLaren coming up the line next. Is that Jamaican Jam? No, it's not. It's going to be Chesney then. Up the line next. Goes P2. Massive gap of a second between.
Oh no, sorry, yeah. I missed the second gap.
That just shows, I mean, the field spread is going to be massive. Here comes Nitro though up next. He goes up to P4. We've got a couple of cars now coming across the line. Aaron Panda puts it P2. Darky puts it P2 again, so drops Aaron Panda down a further position.
I kept an eye as well, and K1's kept his time valid, so he's going to be up to the line and see what he can get for his very first time.
K1 puts it P5s. Solid effort, bottom of that pile. Cruzen goes P7. Got Finn next up to the line. Finds a P8 in the end after having just half a half a tank of battery. The second McLaren crosses the line as well. Jamaican Jam only down in 16th. I think he invalidated his final run there as well. Got a couple
only
more
been finding
cars.
4 tenths so far, but with stadium section, you imagine that's going to be one of the easiest places to find time.
Jatin puts it P5.
Take pole back. And it's P4 for Aiden.
Wow. So that's it then. Looks like Jono's going to have pole. I mean, Alabuk's already done his time as well, I think. So there we go then. It's Jono that's going to be on pole in the wet here in Mexico. Slight maybe... I mean, Jono is always good in the wet. I mean, historically, he'll love to say in the chat himself that he is a fan in wet conditions. But he's done enough there to topple Hugo off the top, considering I think a lot of people probably may have expected Hugo to get it, and by a healthy margin, worth being said, nearly half a second above him and Darky, who had a good performance in Miami, and he's back again. Started on the second row, second Aston Martin as well in starting P4. Arapanda doing well in P5. Jatin was complaining about his pace in the wet, but done a good solid effort. P6, Chesney P7, K1 one and only time puts in P8, Aretha Sky P9, and MOZA down in 10th. Couple of, Jamaican Jam starting last. That's a bit of a shock considering his form in recent races, and the Ferrari boys both outside the top 10. Bit of a shock maybe considering where they were earlier on in the session, but I guess track evolution has just caught them out slightly and left them adrift off the front. But an interesting top 10. Got a couple of people potentially out of place, but whether that's just their pace in the wet or not, we'll have to see as we go into the main race. The likes of, MOZA down in 10th. I guess you wouldn't necessarily expect him to be that far down. It's a bit of a shame for him as he was actually boasting some impressive pace around Mexico in the dry, so I think he would have definitely wished there was a dry race today, but unfortunately full wet across the race, so we'll see how he performs in these conditions.
Thankfully for Jono here as well, we give away pole points, so it's not too bad being on pole in Mexico, even though you're going to be giving absolutely everyone a slipstream.
I guess I was going to say it's different in the wet, but I guess on lap 1 it's not really, because it's the launch and it's the ERS burn and slipstream down to turn 1, so we just have to see how things go. Question is, does he maintain the lead down into turn 1? I'm going to say yes. I think he is.
I'm concerned there would be some hell of a dive bomb sent in.
Well, here we go then. We've got the lights ticking down here for the start of the Mexican Grand Prix. 5 lights are showing, and we're underway here, finally in Mexico. And he's a very, very slow start, I think, from Jono. It's going to be side by side. The one benefit to Jono is Hugo's not got the slipstream. He hasn't tucked behind. If anything, watch Darky round the outside. Been slightly boxed in though, so can't make a move. Jono's cut into the path of Hugo to maintain the lead, and he does, maintains that gap. Darky makes contact with Hugo, manages to maintain the order though. P1 to 4, all staying the same. Bit of contact happening behind me. A yellow flag towards the back. Don't know what's happened back there. We'll quickly flick through, see what's happening. There's 3 abreast.
Going side by side, we know of Darky as well, and I think he's got the move done at the first.
Very close racing all the way through. It's
someone's sliding that down the order. That's MOZA.
Williams is off.
He's off the track,
having a stinker considering he was up in 10th. He's massively down. Oh, Ferrari and Red Bull make contact in the mid-pack as well. I think that was
Ferrari there into the wall. It's cruising's gone off, and I think lost a bit of wing there.
Both Ferraris then. I think their contact up ahead was, I think it might have been K1 and Palmer. Oh, and this Aretha Sky's all out of shape as well, got slick all over the back of him. But we'll have a quick look at tyres to see who's doing what. Currently, 3 cars actually on the Inters to start the race. Slightly bold start considering at the moment the full wet will be quicker, but I think that tidy will quickly turn in favour of the intermediate tyres.
So that is really sliding all over the place in sector 3, but they seem to be holding up okay pace to begin with, considering what they've gone with for the first lap. But this is where we'll really start seeing if gaps begin to form.
Yeah, everyone's still relatively close. The big gap is really Jatin. He's fallen off the back of the front 4, but still holding his position, so not too bad of a start from him. We've got a move happening down below actually as the Red Bulls try and double team the Ferrari of Palmer. Tries to go around the outside into, that's not a corner you should really overtake, and K1 just getting squeezed out. Nitro's a little dive around the outside. Whether he's going to try and get Palmer as well, we'll wait and see. down into sector 2. Does he send it? He sends it on the Ferrari. Don't quite think he's going to have the stopping power to propel himself ahead, and no, he does not. We'll have a quick look at ERS to see who's been burning as well on the opening lap. Oh, as he goes slightly deep in that corner, but still no moves really at the front. Everyone's still relatively close, but no one's really chancing a move just yet. Only lap 2, obviously, so no need to try anything desperate at this stage.
Rufus guy's right in the back of Chesney there, but quite a few slides and he's fallen 8 seconds behind. I was wondering if he was going to begin to look to get any intersections. Now he's under pressure from Slick, he's going to look to the outside, but that way there.
Oh, there goes Nitro.
Switch back alongside him.
Oh, Red Bulls make contact further back as Chesney gets a 3-second penalty already. Yeah, Nitro gets past Palmer.
To get a 3-second penalty. Slick goes down the inside of the Rufus guy into the final corner. The side by side, almost driven by both of them.
To be fair,
either Rufus guy's got slipstream on him for Sean Neville.
There goes Aaron Panda as well, up into P5 on those inter tyres, put them to work already. Very slidey though, like you said earlier, just sideways almost at every corner. But Jatin really struggling, I think, at this stage of the race. Just dropping further off the back. The gap between the front 4 and then what is now the leader of this chase pack being Aaron Panda, 3 seconds off. So we'll see if that gap does come down, him being on the inters, if that's got anything to do in terms of an improvement for this trailing pack.
It's always a bit of a risky strategy, I think, the inter start, especially now it's the 2-stop, because realistically, I think when it starts changing, the wet runners can just sit and go and match your tyres then. So I'm not sure how much of an advantage they're really going to get going for the inter.
Yeah, I mean, right now, based on Aaron Panda's pace, he's ticking away down into Dark. Darky's losing a bit of time compared to the front 3. Oh, and Rufus guy's a massive moment through the S's, and through goes Nitro as well on him. Moves up to P9. Another little slide there through coming into stadium for Nitro. Did that when he overtook Palmer as well.
Considering Bozza fell all the way down to 18th as well, he's managed to gain some decent positions back up to P13.
Oh, and Aaron Panda's lagged out. I quickly ping him when he's on PlayStation, so he should be able to hop back in, but we'll try and get him in.
It's painful for him though, because it's doing solid work catching No Love Dark, and he's just going to lose all that progress he's made. If anything, he's going to end up losing out of position to Justin, at least, it looks like.
I think the one benefit is the wet, so it'd be slightly less painful for his racer. He's not showing us online for me, which is painful, so hopefully we can try and sort out the connection issue or whatever and get back in. Yeah, there goes Jatin then, unfortunately, on him. Oh, it's just as I flick through, there's a bit of a scrap happening between K1 and Palmer. K1 finally tries to clear the Ferrari, but they're going to go side by side through tight and twisty sector 2, still side by side. Good racing between the pair of them. And then Boston's just boxed in, losing time as they continue to go side by side and just cost each other crucial time.
Palmer's got to pull out here now, hasn't he?
Yeah, just think sensible, think of the long. But look how much time that. The boss is getting massively held up. But just nowhere to pass. You just can't send an overtake. Even in the dry, you can't send an overtake somewhere around here. But Palmer just really seems to
might have found a gap here though. He's trying to get around the outside line, and Palmer's going to try to charge down the inside. Contract but he's got the move done. But not as go down as an illegal overtake as he was off track.
He's effectively just made.
I think into the next corner, Palmer slightly went ahead though, so the game count is an illegal one.
Palmer's been caught napping there as well with Finn as he slides past. So Palmer losing 2 positions in a matter of 2 corners there for him, unfortunately. As Ferrari staying not going great so far. Things continue to be close up top though. Just 1.2 seconds separating the front 3 as Darky, that gap between him and Aiden continually grow. It's now 2.4, Jatin 6 seconds behind. I wonder now that, Aaron Panda's, he's back in but he's not taking control of his car yet, so I wonder if he's having some issues struggling to actually grab his car. I see him.
No, he's showing not go through anymore, Aaron Panda. So.
Okay, he's back in, yeah, beautiful. Oh yeah.
I was relieved for his sake it didn't pit him, because I think they're not just going to
say he's on the wrong side.
The game he's on, and then stick him on the wet.
Yeah, we'll see.
Albon's going side by side with Jamaican Jam as well. It's going to be interesting how this one turns out when the Inter's beginning to get a bit more advanced on grip on the exits, but let's say that Albon's going to... Yeah, I think Jamaican Jam's done enough though to send it. I was not expecting Bowman to try hold that one out, but...
Oh, a bit of contact between Matt and Phoenix there as well. Phoenix obviously already got a pen. I think that was like corner cut there, unfortunately, from him as well. I'm interested to see the pace of Cruiser now that he's caught back up as well. To see if he's going to be able to... God, I was going to say make light work. I mean, it's in the wet, so it's going to be difficult regardless, but... Through goes Matt there up the inside. Oh, the pair make contact. And Phoenix has had to cut the corner, gets a 3-second penalty for doing so as well, so very detrimental to his race. Keeps the position though, as Matt actually lost the position there.
You said as well about Cruiser and getting caught up in the back of it, because he's been the first man to opt a bit. Obviously he's thinking the same, just getting a bit of clean up. Well, he's still he needs to do a wing repair as well, he's just done.
So I guess he's thinking, yeah, maybe he thinks it's better to get it all done and out of the way early doors, as these two continue to scrap right at the back. Aggressive racing between Phoenix and Matt here, right at the back. Oh, and a bit of glitch there between Matt and Phoenix as he glitches through him. And through goes Phoenix there into P18, but with penalties next to his name as well. Not just very close up to the back of Slick now as well. So see if he looks to make a move at any point. Things still very close at the front. Still at around 1.2 between the front three. So, I mean, they're racing to this degree while still pulling away from Darky. Is Aaron Panda back down the inside of Jatin. So, back in the session and showing exactly what kind of pace he was missing out on. Sliding everywhere though, just no grip on the corners. Whether that's the tyres or whether that's just the driving style in the wet to throw the car around, but. Look at the grip that he's got coming out the final corner compared to Jatin. Flies away. So through goes Aaron to see if he can bring that 8.3 second deficit down to Darky and see if he's anywhere close to the podium coming into this race. I mean, it'd be an interesting one to see what the Inters look like as we tick further along. Still 29 laps left. So
I was going to say there's a couple more stops, and I assume everybody who's stopping is opting for the Inters higher now. So they're obviously beginning to feel like it's ready to just go and put in some laps and look for undercut people.
Oh yeah, surely. I mean, everyone's coming out now. We'll quickly flick back to see. But yes, MOZA and Slick both coming out to leave it. So a bit of a distant gap, but worth saying that these cars were a bit further up the road than him. So hopefully Christian will be in a bit more of a scrap when cars around, you know, with the cars just outside the top 10 once they come into serve their mandatory, well, first of their mandatory 2 pit stops.
From you got though, if you're one of the lead cars here, is if you box, you imagine you're going to fall into traffic probably around about K1 or with this guy on the road. So it's whether or not you risk boxing, which John is going to go for it. And it's not just John, Hugo's going to follow him in, so it'd be interesting to see where they come out on track and if Aiden's just coming in the car like now, whether or not he has any chance of overcutting if they get held up.
Obviously just done the fastest lap of the race as well. That obviously won't stick around as the race will dry up as we progress, but there goes Aaron Panda as well, so showing that the pace that he's got down in well, now P3 but P5 net on track anyway, so keep an eye on that man in the Alpine to see what you can do. But Aiden, it'd be interesting to see how much time he loses by going an extra lap. I mean, he went a couple of laps longer obviously in Silverstone. It paid out in terms of his benefits, so. And we were there saying, oh, dead strategy. So, I mean, we'll see if he comes straight back in. Slightly different conditions with it being where I imagine he will come straight back in. Otherwise,
Jono seems to have picked a perfect time for himself because he managed to get out just in front of K1, but K1 separated him and Hugo. So that's Jono just putting a solid lap and a bit of a gap to Hugo.
I imagine if Aiden pits, he's probably going to be behind a ruthless guy. I think he's going to be. It's not a bad window to be fair, because there's a nice hefty gap between him and Jamaican Jam that he can feed into, but he would then obviously be hoping that the likes of K1 and the Ruthless Guy are quick into the pits at the end, so worth bearing that in mind. We'll cut back to the front and see, does Aiden come into the pits then? He's obviously had the 2 cars ahead, pit the lap before, does he follow them in? And he is in, yeah, so in comes Aiden. I imagine that means No Love Darky is in as well. Oh, slides into the pits, but yeah, makes it just about making sure he slows down in time as well. Yeah, there it goes, nice and easy for him. As Aaron goes on the inters, obviously, no need for him to come out yet, just wants to make a bit more use out of these intermediate tyres. Well, let's watch Aiden then. Where does he come out? His teammates already get past him, he's yet to even come out of the pit limiter. So where does he come out? Behind Jono at least. He's going to be ahead of K1, I think. This is... Oh, just behind it. I wonder if he sends it. Oh, he thinks about it. Just too far back. They're still trying to warm up his tyres, but right on the back of Hugo here. Slightly compromised run though through turn 2. That's going to take away any opportunity of a send going into sector 2, unfortunately.
But just a slightly costly outlap then from Hugo that's just allowed Johnny to break away a couple of seconds. Whether or not he can now just get his head down and make it up, we'll see. But like you say, it almost cost him the position to Aiden, but it was just about enough to hold on.
I guess that was just all of the impact of getting boxed in behind K1.
Yeah.
Just having to follow a car that's yet to pit, you're having to reduce your speed and just kind of come off the throttle when you want to get it down because they're just going a bit slower. Aiden picks up 3 seconds. On board with him in just 3 losses.
It wasn't too bad behind K1 for the majority of the lap, but then as soon as they got to stadium sections, it really threw John the start to the way there, and it took until the exit at the final corner really for Hugo to get the run on him.
Aaron Panda doing another lap. The one thing I'd be concerned about for Aaron Panda, does he know it's a 2-stop? I would very much hope that he knows it's a 2-stop.
I suppose though for him, he's started on the Inter, so it's less important to get off of them, but I mean you're still probably going to be costing yourself that at the other lap of quickly, but I think no stuff on the wet tyres now almost get to the point. I mean K1's still going on,
it's not even the best tyre at this point, You just need to, I think, you just need to come in now. I think it's a no-brainer at this point that the track is dry enough for the intermediate tyres. As Aiden continually looks for a little opportunity on Hugo, but can't quite find one just yet. As John up ahead has got past Chesney, so up and clear area up again. He's got 5.6 seconds before he runs into the back of Aaron, who's yet to pit as well. So just waiting now to see when Aaron does choose to come in.
Be interesting to see how quickly Hugo can also get on the back of Chesney and whether or not it's going to be a same situation as K1 with him.
Yeah.
I say that he's draining, and I wonder if he's going to look for a move and try to break away from Aiden. Yeah, he's going to go up the inside.
Clever time to do it, really, because he's got a bit deep, but I think Aiden has to send it. No, he doesn't send it, but he goes.
He does. He goes a bit deep.
I don't think he was going to send it, but I think Chesney went deep, and it kind of invited him to send it. Chesney's going to keep his nose at the inside. I think Aiden, just look at the grip. Aiden takes him round the outside and doesn't lose too much time. I mean, it's just within a second, still obviously no DRS, but doing enough just to keep fighting. So it was well managed, considering there was a car yet to pit within their area of the track. Big gaps opening up further down as well, as we got 5.3 seconds between K1 and then this train, obviously K1 yet to pit. And then in terms of representative cars, it's then all the way back to Darky, who's lost heaps of this. It's actually crazy to look at how much time Darky's lost somewhere in this in the crossover between the wets into the inters, because he was around 3 to 4 seconds back, and now he's 10 seconds off them.
I think at times he just seems to almost over push it. You can see him sliding out quite a lot of the corners, which I think it's costing him more. If you can get it, I think Aaron Panda seems to sort of get the right balance. Let's get a flag out and check.
That looks, it will be Oxia Phoenix, whether he's had a little collision with Matt or just a little spin. No damage visible on his car anyway, but painful one. It was Cruise 7 as well up to P17. A couple of laps extra on these tyres as Phoenix leaves the session, so hopefully, if needs be, can get back in. Might ping on him.
Find him.
Does he have enough inters to go to the end? That's my question. Will he have 3 sets of inters?
I think, do you get, if it's wet quali and then wet race, do you get 4 sets? I don't know how many you get given. If so, I don't know how many laps you did on them. Well, in qualifying. So I doubt he's put much wear on them.
That's true, yeah. I guess even if he has to go on a set of views, I guess it's literally like minimal wear. Gap's very close as well between Hugo and Aiden. That continually goes down. It's on that cusp now.
The gap between Aaron and Noah Dark as well, considering Aaron disconnected for a bit, he's managed to really come into the big lap right in front. He's going to be right in the back of Noah Dark for a few laps to home.
Very impressive considering he lagged that as well. So, I mean, he said he had good pace today, and he's showing that even in wet conditions, he's putting on a bit of a show here. Caught back up to Jatin, made light work of him. Went longer, obviously, in that first stint because he was on the inters. And then he's already, I mean, he's flying up to the back of Darky. I mean, you'd imagine he gets past him on the straight if he can keep his pace up. Darky's slightly out of shape as well through the S's, taking a bit of an unoptimal line. I'd be interested.
The gap between Aiden and Hugo is 7 tenths in the end. I thought originally it was going to be a bit closer, but he hasn't known that kind of corner. I wondered if he was going to slipstream to really take some traction to look for a move. Then it's another track which just seems in the wet, very difficult to get through on.
There goes Chelsea finally in as well. As Darky comes into the pits. Very early as well to come into the pits. And he's retired from P6. I mean, it's very painful considering a lot of people have been dreaming of a position like that, and he's thrown away a P6 or whatever it is. So, bit poor from him really, but grants the chance of points for someone else. "14 seconds now. Look at that gap. Now the Darky's out of the way. 15 seconds separates this front three and the rest.
It's just a bit of a shame for Aaron, because you wonder whereabouts he would have slotted in if he didn't have those few laps.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, considering the speed of the AI, I mean, our AI isn't even like that slow, but you'd imagine he lost around 6-7 seconds by doing that, maybe more. I mean, it was only a couple of laps, but he would have lost a hefty chunk of time by doing that. So you'd imagine he would be in a decent. I mean, I'm not saying he'd be right on the back of them at this point, but I think. I mean, I'd be interested to see if he's in any way of, getting involved in that scrap at the front where they can.
Could go for a move here as well on Hugo. He's really got a huge slipstream, throwing absolutely everything. He's saying that he's had to take the outside line. If Hugo tries to look to move back at the inside, almost slides into it, but keeps position for now.
Can they get the switchback sorted here? Tries to go to the inside. Oh, just a bit of wheel spin on the exit there. I don't think he's going to be able to unless he sends it. Got no ERS to play with though.
I think he's going to go for it. Yeah, he's pulled out the slipstream. He's looked for it. No, he can't quite make it to work, and I think Hugo's in enough to defend the position.
Oh, he's trying to go around the outside here, though. Hugo up the inside. No, he's been beaten. What a move from Aiden all the way around the outside. In Sector 2, don't see a move like that very often, but makes it stick. And gallops down the road, so it's now an Aston Martin 1-2, and Hugo's been beaten.
This is also the interesting side as well, almost, about racing in the wet, is yeah, in terms of action, you might see a decreased amount, but when you see a move like that, it's just important. Immediately, it's now going to see you're not able to.
Yeah.
And if not, it's so much harder to get back through that. I mean, you've almost got to look for sort of a pit stop strategy.
Yeah. Hey, what a move, though. I mean, one thing worth noting, obviously, coming into this, Mercedes were the team to beat for the constructors. I mean, if it ends like this, bear this in mind, Aiden has to somewhat run down the road. I mean, it's already a second down the road, but yeah, it's got the penalty already next to his name, so worth noting potentially as we go into the latter stages of the race. But if Aston Martin can walk away with a 1-2 here, massive chance suddenly goes their way for the constructors as well. So something to bear in mind, even if they get a 1-3, I mean, even if they need a bit more of a big gain on Mercedes, considering we're now done now for sprint races and all that. It's just the usual race formats between now and the end of the season. So an opportunity like this can't really be passed upon. Slick down in P6 currently, though he has got Nitro right behind him, although Nitro does have a penalty as well.
Yeah, Slick's in a solid position where the group of cars behind him do all have penalties, and this lap is falling slightly back from Jacqueline by a few tenths, but whether or not you can Cruising and Jamaican Jam are fighting further down for P14. And McIntyre in the box.
He's called it quits. Very close racing between Cruising and Jamaican Jam as Cruising though gets through eventually after some close battling through sector 1. So good clean racing from the pair of them, so well done to them. Oh, and just I say that Cruising sideways through sector 2, loses a position. Let him off. Yeah, I think he just wanted to make sure he rejoined somewhat cleanly. So respect to him there, because he probably could have stayed ahead of Palmer as well. He just didn't want to necessarily turn straight into the path of them and ruin their races as well. But that frees Jamaica Jam slightly again, although he's 5.2 off the back of Aretha Sky, who's in 13th. Gaps between K1, Isla Buck and Aretha Sky as well. Actually then break into the points where Finn is trying to use his clean slate to hunt down the people with pens up ahead, so we'll see if that somewhat swings his way as we approach the halfway distance in this race as well. See if Nitro can do anything against Slick as well, right in the back of him. We'll see, obviously got a pen, but if he's got the raw pace, might be able to pull away from Slick. He's very boxed in at the moment. Does he send it on him into the left hander? No, thinks better of it for now anyway. Tucks in behind him. Very slidey between both these cars here, just really struggling under these conditions. I wonder when we're gonna
still sticking to the back of him, so whether or not he's just gonna have to look for a smooth and send it.
I think
whether or not he's holding back a bit of pace, still almost left down Jacqueline.
I think you have to send it when it's like this. The only way you're going to get past is send it, I think. I mean, we'll see.
He's had a bit of a moment on the exit. It's been a poor sector 2 for him, really.
Yeah, falling a bit. I mean, he's nearly a second off already. Bit of a dodgy entry to that corner there, and he's just fallen adrift. But still plenty of time if he's tucked up behind. Though he has got MOZA right behind him to worry about as well, so can't breathe completely easy at this stage of the race.
But he gets a free second penalty as well as part of this train.
Obviously I said he had a clean slate, but joins that now as he's trying to push up to the back of Chesney, but got no ERS left though, so gonna have to rely on just vibes to get past him currently. He's gonna have to do a bit of a recharge in the next couple of laps to launch an onslaught onto the McLaren man, who's having a good race to be fair up in P9. We'll have a quick look at position gains. Everyone done their first stop, still next stop to go. I do wonder when people do call it into the box, whether it's going to be around like 22, 23.
I mean, it's getting less complicated for the top lot as well, because they'll be able to see exactly where they'll be on track there.
Yeah.
I mean, if John had pits, he might even come out in front of him now.
Yeah. I mean, over 20 seconds, it stands a good chance. In terms of gains and stuff on track, Slick and Nitro having good races, up 7 positions, and Boss are up 2. I mean, Aiden's up 2, so having a good race as well for him as well. Finn up 2, Alabuk up 3. Jamaican Jam having a good race, even though he's outside the points. Obviously started last, up 6 positions currently. I don't know if Finn thought about a move there on Chesney, but massively outbrakes himself and has to go off track to avoid a potential collision there. But then, yeah, apart from that I already mentioned, we've obviously got a couple of people losing positions, and that's Cruiser down 5, Aretha Sky down 4, K1's down 3. I think most of that was probably just due to him going longer in that first stint, just a bit unnecessarily when you look at the gaps and how close things are in that mid-pack. And then Chesney and P9 down 2 as well, but still in the points, so still a solid day on track for him so far.
Wonder if we're beginning to close into sort of next lap or two, and not anyone's going to consider picking. You're not quite half and half for you, second and third sprint. But from like Hugo, you've been looking at, you've now lost the 3-second gap to Ray.
Yeah.
And with 17-second gap behind him, you almost think there's nothing to lose to potentially look at the undercut.
Even if he gets past by Aaron, I mean, he's now got a hefty window then back to Jatton as well. So even if he slots in somewhere, and they obviously probably won't come out ahead of Aaron, but if he comes out ahead of, a decent gap between him and Aaron, and then slots into that window ahead of Jatton, I think he's in a nice little bubble there on track to do some good laps. Just whether it is too early and you don't really want to be doing 18 laps or so on those tyres. I mean, well, something to bear in mind.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but unless he's got a bit more pace in, we just saw that Aiden set the fastest lap that previous lap, so he's just falling further and further back, and he's made that pace.
It's very interesting when you look at the gaps. I mean, it's even hard to comprehend now a 17-second gap is open, but it all came from the likes of, Darky retiring, he was in that gap. Aaron was in that gap as well and disconnected, and the Jatton seemed to be struggling in terms of his pace in the wet conditions, so that time just seemed just to grow out of nowhere all the way up to nearly 20 seconds where, I mean, Aaron, I'm trying to think, I can't remember what the gap was when we were saying, can he close down the front three?
Probably 4 or 5 seconds, wasn't it? That's that really.
That's what I mean, he's eating away at it, but I don't think, he's not going to be in the fight for the win, so it's...
So when he fell back from No Love Darky, we began looking through whether or not he's catching then. That was about 4 or 3 seconds. And
yeah.
I think he was laughing quite really fast. Darky's fine, and that's the 45.
Yeah. Camper said, where was Darky when he retired? I think he was like 5th, 6th. Which is a bit poor, really, to call it quits at that stage, even if he did well. I think he spent the pits because he was coming in to retire. I don't think that was necessarily a pit issue.
I assumed he wanted to try and undercut you. Maybe you are right. So it very early, to be fair. That
would have been a second stop, yeah. I don't think there was any chance, really. I think he just called it quits and threw it into the pits, which is very poor, really. But yeah, still 16 laps to go. There's still 18 cars on track as well, so still plenty can happen. I think Phoenix is still ghosted, unfortunately, so if he doesn't rejoin, I think he's just left. I don't think he's has any intention of coming back, so will get disqualified if that is the case after not doing 50% race distance. Look at that gap as well. The gap's gone up by nearly a second again between Avon and Hugo.
Again, nothing's going to go for that. Oh, he's been tagged. Made contact with Nitro, yeah.
Oh,
very optimistic move, and he's lost keeper time.
It's a very dangerous rejoin though from Nitro. Cut across Chesney there, nearly put Chesney in the wall, and Finn's trying to pounce on this. He's going down the inside finally on Chesney, and stuck behind him for ages, and he slides into the path of him, makes it stick though. So Finn, very opportunistic move, although Chesney straggled the switchback.
Yeah. It's a bit of a dive at the inside, and he's not going to make it stick, is he?
Oh, gets a good run there, come out of the double right-hander though, but yeah, Finn manages to move up into P9. Oh, and K1, crazy send. No, I mean that was a Max Verstappen move in that corner. Wasn't even really looking on. And Chesney's all over the place in the S's. Nitro gets a 3-second penalty. Yeah, I mean
K1's got through Chesney as well after that. So
I think that's very rash. It's just a Red Bull. I saw the nose just absolutely dart into the corner. But yeah, I mean that's Jack's been. Yeah, cool in the chat said that Chesney's been getting bullied through this couple of corners there. All the way down.
It's all very unfortunate because it's literally an unsafe rejoin to originally fall back there, and then K1 just ran nowhere.
Yeah, he wasn't even involved in the initial incident. He's just been a victim. I mean that gap has somewhat freed Jatton. Jatton now 3.3 seconds up the road from all this after a collision there between MOZA and Nitro. I mean, that's cost them 5 seconds.
Chesney and K1 as K1's got the inside into turn 2, and yeah, he's going to manage to keep the position as Chesney tries to immediately come straight back at him. Quite a few pitches as well further down the route, so he's making the jam.
1.9 between the front two, Aiden with a pen now. I mean,
John, the 10-second penalty.
Westbrook, where's it? I wonder if he's Had a bit of a wobble and ended up cutting turn 1 or 2.
Yeah, I mean, you have to cut it very significantly as Hugo's in as well, but...
Oh, we got who's that as well? I don't know what's happened to CT3, but he was slowing down the main straight. I think he's had a collision with someone. Is he still showing up as ghosted as well?
No, he's not.
No,
I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened
Was he
there.
getting lapped? Maybe he was blue flagged? Yeah, that's...
Oh,
yeah,
he is,
one of the
yeah,
actions
yeah.
in front of him, so yeah, it's both of them actually. So yeah, he's doing well actually, but I didn't go on the blue flags, so...
Blue flags. But painful day for, I mean, it just shows the pace of the Astons actually, because they're coming up to the back of this massive scrap, so it's going to be interesting to see if any of these actually realise that as well and come into the pits. Look at the gaps
Bob's
there.
in as well, and got a full battery, yeah, thanks to you, and we've had that really try and push that back.
Yeah.
And it's worked out, all those collisions have worked out beautifully for Philip, really massive bit of no man's land.
Yeah.
Just drive off into the distance.
At the moment, it's going to be interesting to see the gaps because Paul in the chat saying how big the gaps are. It's hard to judge currently because the likes of Alabrook yet to pit, so he'll slot back into that fight as well. But I mean, just across the field really, as Jono's next into the pits. Aiden once again choosing to stay out. Whether he's getting second driver treatment,
I suppose that's a double stack.
Yeah. Stays out, doesn't choose to double stack. I mean, the gap probably. I mean, it wasn't big enough, really, was it? But
no, you would be held up. It's stupid. I think realistically, yeah, you go that longer. Problem is, point well, just sort of working now. I think the gap's too big. I mean, it'll take a moment from Aiden somewhere along here.
Slick
speeds in. As we were saying, he's found a beautiful gap and looked to be on for an easy P6. And that could cost him. I say that, but the gap. I mean, we'll see what the gap turns out to be.
Yeah.
Everyone behind also has 3 seconds penalties.
If he's ahead, he might genuinely be okay. Because if he can run in clear air, he might still be okay. It sounds stupid to say with a 10-second penalty next to his name, but he might genuinely be able to survive with that penalty. K1 in the pits, there comes MOZA then, so I'd be interested to see where MOZA slots in time-wise. 5.8, I mean, it's probably about the same really. I don't think there's been any real time loss there, or gain from the Williams van. The undercut not quite working really in terms of directly pushing up ahead. Yeah, so Aiden doing the lap later. We'll go on board with John and see what that gap looks like. I imagine John has probably found a bit more time on him and managed just to edge out his lead a couple more tenths or maybe a second or so. We'll see as he comes around the final corner. Aiden out the box now and coming down. I think John might set the fastest lap.
Since the start, finish line, so yeah, he's comfortably ahead. But where's Aaron Panda going to slot in?
Behind his game, yeah.
Yeah, I think Aiden's comfortably rejoining in P2.
I mean, look at this though again. Hugo's lost a bit more time in amongst the pit windows, really. Now 4.5 seconds adrift, so painful because I think Hugo was definitely the favourite for today. I don't think that's really an argument. Didn't think he was the quickest around Mexico. I mean, that was self-admitted. And then Boston gets a 10. Whoa, what's happened back here?
Oh, Chesney's got a 10-second nitro collision, so whether or not he's pushed nitro over the line and nitro can get removed.
Yeah, I wonder
what's happened now.
I think they've.
Boston retires because he got to 20-second penalties.
Oh yeah. I don't know what's that. I don't know how. And Boston's. Yeah, well, I mean that being something to look back on perhaps, but yeah, a couple of big penalties coming in there. I wonder if Chesney's. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's happened here, but.
I wonder when Bozza's cut stadium section just to come in and retire for whatever reason and then spin into the pit.
There is a chance, yeah. But very close though between Nitro and Chesney yet again. Bit of a gap up to K1 as well as the. I mean, Red Bull's looking good. Chesney's looking for a set though.
On Nitro, it's a big set. He goes flying off.
Nowhere near making that stick, unfortunately for him.
Seen a few interesting moves in this midfield battle with K1 as well as one of his.
Yeah, Nitro maintains that position, then just has to wave him past. Big penalties on board. I mean, Slick with that 10 seconds there adds on to his 3 second already. Then we've got 16 between Nitro and Chesney, so that's going to drop them right down the order. Though Ruthless Sky and Crusoe have 6 seconds as well, and then 13 and 12 further back between Palmer and Phoenix respectively.
I'll be very interested to see what happens in Nitro and Chesney penalties, because my guess is Nitro's penalty is one that can come off.
Yeah.
I assume he's been pushed over. I mean, we didn't see the thing, but I assume based on how the penalties work, he's been pushed over the pit lane.
And based on the absolute dive of late braking manoeuvre from Chesney earlier on, I mean, maybe it's showing that he's maybe having trouble with the brakes. Maybe to say that, you know. But still got, I mean, 1.8 between Jono and his teammate at the front. Nice comfortable gap now between Ada and Hugo now that Aaron Panda's out of the way and served his second mandatory pit stop as well. So in the front three just going to run in their own race now to the checkered flag for the final 11 laps. Unless anything crazy happens, 19 seconds the gap further back to Aaron Panda as well in people.
If you do Jono get the 3 second penalty, the spy shins up between the top two. See if not Aiden then fancies it a bit more on track.
Go on, Jono, yeah. Even I don't know if he's got any warnings.
It seems a very stable gap. So
they've both got very similar pace out front. Yeah, just can't really eat into the gaps that the other one's pulling away. Well, Chesney's massively out of shape as well. Off twice through the S's there. As he struggles to keep tabs there with Nitro up ahead.
John only had the one warning as well. I don't know.
Okay. So I think he's running a very comfortable race out front. Might be a time that he finally wins a race this season. It's been a long time coming. I think he was coming into the season potentially expecting to be fighting for the championship for more wins, but I think he's been slightly surprised by the overall pace of the division this season. But in wet conditions, a bit more practice under his belt this week, and he's looking back to a Jono of the bygone era. So we'll have to see if he can make that come to a reality in the next 10 laps. I think the closest fight we've got really on track now is, I mean, Alabuk is going to be the true winner here in this scrap. A couple of cars all for the taking up ahead of him, and he sat there without a penalty. I mean, if everything goes well, Alabuk could have a P8 here. All depends on obviously whether Nitro's pen can come off, but he's already got a penalty next to his name as well, so the reserve man could be up for a solid drive here. Obviously had a good drive last time.
He spread out a bit slightly though, so it's just making sure he doesn't fall on the wrong side of it. This is the problem. If they begin to lose the slipstream effect, it becomes more pace. As Chesney gets another 3 seconds out to go through the S. It's going to be the problem with Chesney going to drop it back to 1.5 seconds. It's then making sure for Alabuk to say, but he could stay within the penalty range overall.
It's going to be interesting to see how many of these cars the Aston boys do actually lap, because they lapped CT3, but then the front runners came in to do their pit stops. They're not a crazy far distance behind the back. I mean, you can literally see CT3 there on screen, so I mean, there's a chance that they can drive at the back of him and have him within the next couple of laps, and then it's whether they can close up and even. Well, I mean, LTR Phoenix is ghosted, so I imagine they'll be able to get him. And then it's whether they can even get the Ferrari boys and Jamaican Jam, I think Jamaican Jam's having a bit of a torrid day at the office, unfortunately for him. Not used to, I mean, it's not a result we've been expecting or have seen from Jamaican Jam this season, so it's a bit of a shock to see him down there. Maybe just not a fan of the wet conditions on this game.
I think even Cruiser as well, because obviously we saw he lost part of his wing on all the way back on that one, ending up on the wall. Lost a bunch of places, and he seemed to be getting going and getting with very then another moment. As we talked about him, there's another 3 seconds.
Come to his case. But yeah, I mean, it's worth, but I guess that's one thing to bear in mind, that he was, again, had to do a longer pit stop in his first time in the box. He's made it back to P13, so not an awful day for him. Shows that he's got the pace to fight.
He seems to have a good pace, but I feel like, even with the lap limits, I feel like he's got on the cars today.
For sure.
All went well, yeah.
Oh, I've just had a look. Something's happened between... Well, John has had a little moment somewhere. Because that gap has really come down by a second out of nowhere. So, suddenly, Aiden smells blood and he knows that there's a chance here of the win. It looked like a procession really towards the checkered flag between the S10 boys, but suddenly, could there be a bit of a rivalry happening there?
That's enough as well to get him into the slipstream effect, which is then, even if he's not got pure focus on the corner, just dragging along every single lap. And he wouldn't surprise you if the gap comes down by almost half a second. Just depends purely on their straight line speed differences as well.
I imagine they're running quite similar setups, really.
Yeah, I mean, based on this, I mean, he's not making any inputs whatsoever. So.
And also goes to car because it's been lapped, but he just wants to get CT3 out of the way as quick as possible, ideally. Nah, yeah, CT3 doing a good job just to get out of the way. Drove onto the grass. I mean, not necessary to do that, but we appreciate it regardless. Still very close. Chimp in the chat saying, if this is championship in mind, Aiden should win this. I mean, yes and no. I guess there's still a couple of races to go. I don't know if they're necessarily... If this is real life, obviously I think you would switch them, yeah. Because Aiden is obviously the closest challenger, but... I don't think John is going to give up a win, is he?
I don't think anyone in this situation would give up the win.
Unless you're like mates, like full-on mates maybe, driving for a team.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of be like, oh, like he deserves it kind of aspect. But I think the people, you know, in the situation like this, I mean, John is probably gagging for a win in Tier 2 again. I mean, he hasn't won in ages, so the concept of a win or giving it away to his teammate, I just don't see happening. I mean, we'll have to see if he does, but I'd be shocked if John pulls aside for his teammate. Put it that way.
I wouldn't expect it to in the slightest.
Yeah, if I was...
This is me, absolutely no chance I'm doing that.
Oh yeah, I'm not. But I wonder if Aiden's somewhat... I mean, they're probably in a party. I think they do go in parties, so it's whether Aiden's somewhat... I don't know if he'd even be thinking about the championship at this point of the race. Whether he'll be kind of asking him, fancy moving aside for me?
Not only has he then got to move aside, he's then got to drop the 3 seconds back. So this is... I mean, it's so heavily in John's favourite move that Aiden really needs to get things done in a couple of laps to even spend any chance.
Oh yeah, I mean...
then, based on what we saw, they were just trading consistent lap times between them, so I don't think he makes that.
Yeah, I can't imagine gapping it. That's making a good point. I don't see him gapping it by 3 seconds in 6 laps. I mean, it's not likely, really.
Again, it's down to sort of 6 temps here, so it's just... I mean, it's now the dirty A's going to get to the stadium section, how much he can lose, how much he just loses here.
Still, I mean, he's still right on the back of him.
He's done well, yeah.
Got a bit more ERS to play with as well compared to Jono up ahead as well. Half a second. Oh, Jono gets a bit sideways.
A moment at the final corner over Aiden as well, and look at that, already jumped up.
A second, yeah. Well, I thought it was Jono that actually had the slide, but obviously Aiden had it a lot worse. Lost heaps of time, actually.
Really bad. It's almost put the gap back to what it was.
He's gone to ERS none. I don't know what he's... I don't know if he's just decided to set her back and just not scrap him. Because he's literally just turned his ERS to none to let it go all the way back to 100 battery, so I don't really know what he's...
Cruising in a ruthless guy going to the other side for the B12. A bit further down, some on-track action. Well, yeah, that was settled out already.
Done and dusted.
And I tried to capture it being like, oh, here we go for an overtake.
Nitro seemed to his gaps were stable between his teammate. I thought there was a chance that that Nitro would be able to push up past K1 and overtake him, but they've gapped Chesney, but no real further indents from Nitro on his teammate. Kind of just stalled in behind him. But a solid race from K1. I don't think he really had any laps on the board.
Oh, it's really big moment. He's into the wall slightly, and it's in this, and he's going to be he's right at the back of it. He's genuinely get through a bit of slipstream, but I mean, it's not lost him quite as much time as I first thought, but it's a huge moment to catches the one curve and sends him slightly into the wall.
Keeping an eye on that gap out front. I think Aiden's trying a little strat of just dropping back, getting his ERS sorted, and then just a bit of a full-on send to see if there's anything he can do to beat Jono on track, just for bragging rights, really, because, like you said, I don't see him gapping his teammate by 3 seconds as CT3 calls it a day. 5 laps away from the end, painful way to end it, like close to the end of the race, but I guess he was lapped at that point, so no real surprise. But yeah, look at Aiden.
Like collisions as well. Aiden's got 5 warnings, so it's not even like he'd be able to get this removed.
Yeah.
He can't really cost himself much more time. If he wants to win this and stand any chance, he has to get this one.
He needs to get it done this lap effectively. Yeah. He's done a massive ERS send, but he's all over the place. He's coming out of that twisty, windy part of sector 2.
Still has. Oh, it's another slide over through the S's. It's cost him a few tenths in that row.
Just driving so consistently out front, Jono. But Aiden, even after a little bit of a push, he just can't really scrap him. He just can't get close enough. As the Ferrari gets lapped next up. Unfortunately, Palmer, the chase view is over.
Hugo gets a 3-second penalty as well, but it's not going to really have any impact on whatsoever. But I mean, yeah, it's a costly sector 2 really for Aiden. Without that sector 2, he seems like he's potentially going to be right back in the team. Again, whether that's different ERS modes, I'm not sure, but Jono's pulled away down the straight. I think unless there's a mistake, there's no way through here.
Yeah, again, up to 8 tenths. Yeah, I mean, not with an exit like that again. Jono's just managing his battery and his exits beautifully at this stage. Doing everything he needs to do, really. And they've got no threat from behind as well, with Hugo now with the pen as well. And he's already 8 seconds back, so no need to worry, really, in that sense.
Huge golfing class, really, when you get to the wet race. I mean, there's almost 2 20-second gaps that are formed there.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy when you look back at Aaron Panda that, he disconnected, and then since he disconnected, he then got back, repassed Jatin, and then since that, across another pit stop, and then what's been left of the race, either side of that pit stop, he's managed to drop 16 seconds on his head. I mean, it's just incredible.
So I think this is one what Jatin was saying before as well, how he's concerned about his place before the race. So to drop that much time, I think, before and still to come back with a very comfortable P5, I mean, you take that for solid points when you're concerned about your place at the start of the day.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure, I guess on paper it's quite painful for him that he's so far off the win, but for him, a P5 is a P5. I mean, considering the seasons he's had, I think he'll take that with both hands and run with it. It's interesting when you get to wet races and you see a race like this, because whenever you're in dry races, you never have such...
It's absolutely burning here.
You never have such a void in pace. But in the wet, it just opens up incredibly. So, as the Red Bulls actually behind have switched as well. Nitro's had K1. I made it stick. Oh, he's a bit shaky through stadium section, but we're cut back to the front to see if Aiden can finally just pose a challenge to Jono out front.
He's really lost all the time last time. He does very well to claw it through the rest of the lap, but
much
better run through the S's. But there's now just any order through the stadium section. Probably down the straight, so he's not going to be close enough to look for his idea.
Who wins the bragging rights in the team? Obviously the pen is still going to cost Aiden the win, unless he knows something we don't and he can try and get these removed, but he's so close, but a massive slide again out the final corner. Jono just able to keep it pinned at the final corner to gain a couple of tenths and then burn his ERS. Yeah, Aiden not choosing to burn, which is interesting. Jono did empty a little bit more of his battery just to pull away by 2-3 tenths. So we go on to the penultimate lap of the race as well. Don't think we'll have any more cars really at risk of being involved in this scrap as Jamaican Jam's a little bit further down the road.
And even then, at this point, considering the 3-second penalty, you'd imagine Aiden's going to only go for it if it's a comfortable or not.
Yeah, I mean,
they're just risking throwing away a 1-2.
Yeah. I mean, I can respect it if he tried something, but yeah, realistically, I don't see him doing anything stupid. I'd be very surprised if he just decided to row his car. As we go into the final lap, though, we'll have a quick look through, make sure everyone's done their 2-stop. Obviously, LTR Phoenix has not, but that's because his air has been in control, so we'll have to disqualify him, unfortunately, for not doing 2 stops, and then for not doing 50% as well. So DSQ'd on 2 causes there, but in terms of the positions, it's been an interesting race up front as Jamaican Jam gets a 3-second penalty. Yeah, look, I don't know, Aiden's very slow there.
Aiden's really dropped back, yeah.
I wonder if he's just, he doesn't really want to cause any team drama, because that looked like a purposeful backing off there, rather than an error, I think. Maybe he's just showing how much he can gain on him in the lap, just to say, yeah, look at me, I would have had you little bro if I wanted to. But yeah, I mean, good races throughout the top 10. Alabuck, you'd imagine, I mean, all going to depend on what happens with these penalties, but you'd imagine will end up in the point scoring positions. K1 down 1, but it's nice to see K1 back with a solid race as well.
Oh, he did have a bit of a slide out the corner there. I was just beginning to think, I wonder if he was doing it to go the fastest lap. He's already got the fastest lap, so...
Just trying to flex. I mean, with that slide, he's not really going to do anything else, is he? But good races as well from Slick, Finn and Nitro. Look to be solidly in the points. I mean, we'll see where they finally come when penalties get applied or removed post-race, etc. But then it must be said, I mean, great drives from Aaron Panda and Jono. No penalties to their name as well. Aaron's first race in the league. Yes, he is over 30 seconds off the league, but I mean, he's had a great race regardless of all that. But we'll go on board with Jono. Aiden can't really match it. The fireworks are going off in the rain as he comes through stadium section. Got a healthy gap over his teammate. That's only going to grow once they both cross the checkered flag. But here he comes round the final corner. It's been a long time coming, but Jono finally back on top here in Tier 2 as he wins the Mexican Grand Prix. Aiden just behind him. That will grow then to 3.7. It's going to be Hugo next up. Slides through the final corner to bring it home in that final points, that final podium scoring position. Aaron Panda just coming into stadium section now as the fireworks continually go off, but a great drive from him regardless of the gap to the front in this first race, showing that he has got something about him, which is good to see. As Taru goes down to claim P4 in his first race here in HOR. The weight then goes down to Jatin as we watch Jatin come in stadium as well. Obviously Palmer and Phoenix already classified as they were laps, unfortunately. John, he's already dipped from the session. So he's
a ruthless guy backing on the final lap to see you can get P12. Obviously no points for driving rights, but try and avoid it through the F section.
Oh, I
Whether or not they're going to keep trying to go side by side, but a ruthless guy will have to back out, and that's going to finish.
Just look at this, Jamaican Jam's sensing a chance. Oh, crazy send from a ruthless guy. Jamaican Jam, brilliant line though.
Jam's got the inside on a ruthless guy, yeah.
Oh, big contact.
Go battling around the last couple of corners.
More contact from the pair. A ruthless guy gets punted a bit wide. Good line from Jamaican Jam though. Who's going to get it? Oh, it's just going to be a ruthless guy to the line. But, I mean, we'll have a look now at the full order of classification, but a bit of actual racing towards the end there.
I was going to say it's the best racing that we've had for some time, and it's about P12 in the final lap.
Well, there we have it. I mean, we'll hopefully I can actually see the results. Yeah, here we go. Aston Martin 1-2. Brilliant couple of races from the Aston boys, and they look to slowly crawl their way back up towards. I mean, I said they would like a 1-2 here, and they've done that. They've managed to get a 1-2. So now, I mean, that gap surely between them and the Mercedes is looking a lot closer going into the final 3 races. Most people will be glad to. Obviously, I mean, there's a good chance. I'd say it's as high as 99% that we'll have a dry race next week in Bahrain. So something to look forward to for a lot of people. But
yeah, I double check the next couple are set to be dry at the moment.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
because there was the one season where we got to the end and we almost had an Abu Dhabi wet race.
That would have been generational scenes if we did, to be fair. But yeah, there we go. Jono wins the Mexican Grand Prix, done in 55 minutes. Aiden P2, so a brilliant result for the Aston Martin boys. Hugo P3 still will maintain his championship lead, but has lost points to Aiden. Aaron P4, Jatin P5, Finn P6, K1 7th, Alaba goes all the way up to 8th, Slick 9th, and then Nitro drops down to P10. But I guess we will have to wait and see if anything gets reported for something we missed, maybe with a penalty or penalty removal. So that top 10, or the grid as itself, I guess, as a whole, is currently only penciled in. We'll wait and see what the full result is tomorrow. So yeah, if you want to see the full results, be sure to check in the chats tomorrow to see what the final order is. But on to tier 1 now then. Tier 2, obviously next week do have Bahrain, as we've mentioned a couple of times. So if you are interested in watching tier 2, we'll be back same time next week around Bahrain. But if you are interested in watching a bit more action tonight, we've got tier 1 racing in a dry Mexico, so a bit different. Same format of a short quali and 50% race, but yeah, in dry conditions in Mexico. So yeah, if you want to stick around and watch that, please do. But from us here in tier 2, we'll see you in Bahrain. Goodbye.